Hello again. Back to the process that we are following um, in this tutorial video series. In the past videos, you have seen how to install and configure a VMware virtual machine, and you have seen also how to install and configure the operating system, which in this case is CentOS version 7, the minimal configuration. And in the last video, you saw how to install and configure an IBM Domino server. In this video, I want to show you how to basically install and configure PHP to work in conjunction with the IBM Domino server. The process is very simple, but you have to be, know what every step means in terms on, for example, the impact that information or that configuration is going to have in the overall process of these of the functionality of PHP. For example, the first step is in this video is going to be, take down the IBM Domino server if it is running. As you can see, I have done it already. So the IBM Domino server is not running. I need to be logged in as the root user. I'm going to check that. Yes, I'm the root user, and I will have to install PHP. In order to do that, you can type yum install PHP. But one important thing in this process is, as you can see in the screen right now, if you try to install PHP through yum, you will have to install the Apache server, the HTTP software here. It's mandatory, so you can't install PHP without the Apache server. But as I show you in the second video, I think you will have the option to disable the HTTP task. You won't be able to uninstall the Apache server. If you do that, you will automatically uninstall the PHP server as well. So I will say yes, and I will start the installation, the download and installation of this PHP server. This is a very quick process. It won't take long. As I told you, you can't uninstall the Apache server. You just will be able to disable it. And to do so, I have added in the script the options. First, to check if the server is running, then to stop it, and the most important thing is to disable it. Okay, in this case, I'm going to stop it, and then I'm going to disable it. Okay, now that we have installed the PHP server and we have disabled the Apache, now we will be able to start the configuration process. But first, I want to show you that in the files that I have attached to this tutorial, you will see a file called ICS.html, which is a zip file that contains one subfolder and one folder and several subfolders. I have unzipped that file and I have it here, the ICS directory. As you can see, it has three subdirectories. One is API, one is IMG, and the other is vendor. The first one, the API folder, contains a series of PHP simple script files. The first one is the info PHP, which is a very simple script. If you can see, it just makes a call to this function, and when we execute this info.php in the browser, it will show you information about the version and several configuration of the PHP server. It's very simple, and other PHP files that you can find in this folder is, for example, this one, Twitter get tweets. This is a very simple script that has been, done in order to really integrate easily with the Twitter API. It can, get in charge of all the complexity of making calls and login and all that stuff. It's very simple, but we will, dive in more detail with these files in the next video. For now, I just wanted you to see the contents of this subfolder. The IMG only contains images, for example, logos and that stuff. The vendor contains other frameworks like Bootstrap and jQuery, and also Font Awesome, which are basically, it's a framework that it's really useful for creating front-end applications, web applications in this case. We have used those frameworks in order to demonstrate the capability of our application to integrate with IBM Watson services. And in this folder, the IBM subfolder, you will find all the JavaScript and CSS required to present the information that it's going to return when you send an analysis to the Watson Personality Insights service. For example, this subfolder, the Sunburst chart, is a very cool and very unique way to present the information from an analysis of an individual. So it has been taken care of with these functions that you basically will just call from the application. So that's it. That's the content of this ICS subfolder. What you can do with this folder is to copy it to the IBM Domino server. I have done so already. As you can see here in the right side, you can see my IBM Domino server running in the virtual machine that we configured for this tutorial. And I just copied the ICS into this directory, which is the root subdirectory in the IBM Domino server for the HTTP service. Okay, now that we have this directory, one thing that is very important: when you copy things to the notes data directory, you have to be sure that you're using the Domino user. If you copy and touch things with the root user or any other user, you will have to set the correct owner and access rights for those files, because if you don't do so, the application might not work correctly. Okay, back to the script. Okay, we have copied everything to the server, and now it's time to move to the IBM Domino administrator client. what I did was I switched the ID to the admin.id that we created during the process of configuring this Domino server. And once I did that, I was able to add a access point, an access configuration file in the Notes client in order to be able to see or to directly access the server through the IP that we are using for this tutorial. Once I have done that, I will be able to connect to the server as I'm doing right now. I have to start the server. Okay, I'm going to change to the local notes data, and I have to start the server. Okay. One important thing is that we're going to start configuring the Domino server, and to do so, the first thing that we have to do is to in this case I prefer to use internet sites because it gives me more options, and I think I have more control of my HTTP server. So the first thing is to tell this server that it has to use internet sites, and we can do that by changing this option here to enable. Save it. Okay, and now that we have made that change to the server document here, we can go here to the internet sites and create a web internet site. I'm going to call this ICS. The organization, or it needs to be the same domain that you have in this server ICS. I don't want to map. I just want to use this configuration for any name that I use to access this server. One thing that I really like to do is to specify at least a single server session. And now that I have done this, I'm going to save it. And the HTTP server is almost complete. What do we need to do right now is to specify a rule to instruct the HTTP server to understand when somebody tries to access a PHP extension. For example, if you want to access a info.php file that is currently inside the HTML directory, this one. Yeah. For example, if I want to call this info, which is in the API ICS inside the root directory of the HTTP server, right now the server won't understand this, will not understand this request. So we have to tell the HTTP server to understand this and to pass it to the PHP engine that we just installed in the server. But we need to basically I'm going to leave this session of PuTTY here because I have the IBM Domino server running here. I'm going to duplicate this session. I'm going to start with the root user. And what I want to do right now is to verify if I have PHP installed. Yes, I can see that PHP version 5.4 16 is already installed in this computer, but I want to know where the engine is installed, is located in this server. So I can tell which PHP, and it returns me the path that is in USR bin PHP. But I also need to make some changes to the php.ini, which is, let me see where it is. Okay, it's in the ATC directory. We need to do two things. First of all, we need to make some changes to the ini file. I'm going to edit PHP, and the changes that I need to do, I'm going to place this here, and I'm going to open this. What we need to do is at least make this change to the PHP file. Okay, this file is really, it's a large file, so you have to search for, oops, sorry, you have to search for a segment that is called data handling, no, file uploads, dynamic extensions, module settings, MySQL. Paths and directories. This is the one. Okay, here it is. I have already done so. This is the option. It has to be 0, and you can have the option to, you know, edit the doc root directory, which will be this one. This is not mandatory, but if you want to do so, you can. And we will set this to, oops, local notes data Domino HTML. Okay, that's it. The most important part is this one. This is the option that you need to change if you haven't done so already. And we have to save this file. And now that we have this path, we need just, if you want to check if the file that we need is there, you can do so. You can do this, USR bin PHP. This is the one that we need, PHP CGI. Okay, now that we have this file, this path, we need to come back to the nodes, and we will have to create a rule to handle all PHP requests. I will give PHP as a description for this rule. The rule is a directory rule, and the incoming path has to be anything with PHP extension. And when the IBM Domino HTTP task receives a request for anything with PHP extension, it will have to redirect that call to this file and complete this rule. And we have to give them permission to execute. As you can see, this is the file that we need, the PHP CGI, and then we have to specify the PHP extension. We can save this, and we are now ready. Okay, the server is still running, so I have to tell the HTTP server to restart. Okay, now we can check if our server now understands ICS, API, info, PHP. And that's it. You have done the configuration of your IBM Domino server to, in this case, to understand and process all PHP requests that you can send to the server. So now that we have PHP running with the IBM Domino server, basically we have completed this part of the tutorial. Now the next part is going to be I'm going to show you how to install and set up the application to start, making sending requests to the IBM Domino, IBM Watson services, in this case for the Personality Insights service. Thank you for watching.